Capley X.
3-man Octobot infiltration team.
This is catastrophic.
Your movie recap in a flash. We bring the drama, the action, and the twists. The story continued 4 years later. A ship was attacked by pirates, and Aquaman arrived to stop them. He fought the pirates and defeated them. In the next scene, we saw Arthur playing with his son, revealing that he had a child with Mera. Arthur was now a father and the king of Atlantis. He remarked that being the king of Atlantis was very boring because it involved constant meetings and trivial matters. Later, he talked with his father and noticed that his son was communicating with small fish in an aquarium. This surprised him because his son was still very young, but it seemed he had inherited Arthur's superpowers quickly. The story then shifted to David, Aquaman's old enemy, who now called himself Black Manta. David was still searching for Aquaman to avenge his father's death. He wanted to repair his suit, which was his only hope of killing Aquaman. To do this, he collaborated with Dr. Stephen, who was obsessed with finding the kingdom of Atlantis. Stephen and a team of scientists set out to locate Atlantis. They reached a certain point and discovered they had arrived at a seismic zone. However, they could not escape in time, and an earthquake occurred. They managed to survive and descended underground, where they encountered a strange-looking monster. The monster attacked one of the scientists and dragged him away. Stephen immediately contacted David to inform him of their location. David and his men arrived at Dr. Stephen's location and continued exploring the area, searching for Atlantis. They discovered what appeared to be an ancient base belonging to Atlantis. They found creatures frozen in ice and descended into a large lake to explore the area further, hoping to find something useful. While searching, the strange monster reappeared and attacked them. David hid from the monster's attack and discovered a weapon. A broken trident in the ocean is grabbed, and the weapon is mounted. A vision of a terrifying creature appears to him, and the creature tells David, "I will help you take revenge on Aquaman, but in return, I want a favor from you to free me." David awakens from this vision, holding the trident weapon in his hand. His eyes glow green, and he feels a new spirit within his body. 5 months later, the news is talking about the problem of global warming, which has caused a rise in Earth's temperature. Mera wakes Arthur up because there's an urgent meeting in the kingdom. Arthur goes to meet the Atlantis Council. The council discusses the issue of global warming, which is destroying the world. They propose attacking the surface world because humans are destroying the environment, which affects them. However, Arthur rejects this suggestion, saying that humans don't even know they exist, so they are unaware of the harm they're causing. Arthur suggests finding a middle ground. He proposes that they communicate with humans, reveal the existence of Atlantis, and have their scientists collaborate with human scientists to solve the issue of global warming, given the advanced technology humans now possess. The council unanimously rejects the idea of cooperating with humans, stating that if they were to reveal themselves to humans, it would be to destroy them, not to cooperate. The council meeting ends. David is seen piloting a large underwater vessel with Stephen and a team of scientists. With the help of the trident weapon, David finds devices called Oraka, which he discovered in the old Atlantis headquarters 5 months ago. These devices can locate Atlantis, but require energy to function. David takes a smaller vessel to a secret passage containing the necessary energy to power the devices. He successfully retrieves the energy, but the secret passage suddenly closes on him. David contacts his assistant, Sting, asking her to help him. He instructs her to enter Atlantis immediately and exit from within, as the gate cannot be opened from his side. Sting orders the entry into Atlantis, whose location they finally discovered through the devices. Stephen is in disbelief that they've finally reached Atlantis. The guards and security of Atlantis threaten them to retreat or face fire. Stephen, still mesmerized by Atlantis, doesn't heed the warning, prompting the guards to attack. Stephen wakes from his daydream and attacks with his vessel, emitting sound waves that destroy an Atlantis ship. Stephen's vessel penetrates Atlantis, destroying buildings along the way. Atlana and Mera arrive to confront them. Atlana attempts to attack them, but is struck by the sound waves and loses consciousness. Mera, seeing Atlana's condition, becomes furious and pursues Black Manta's vessel. She manages to shatter its glass and is about to kill him, but but he attacks her with a red laser, causing her to lose consciousness and sustain injuries. Black Manta prepares the trident weapon to kill her, but Aquaman appears and charges at him. Steven contacts Black Manta, urging him to flee immediately, warning that all of Atlantis will attack him. Black Manta refuses, feeling powerful enough to face them. He uses his laser to target Atlantis residents, forcing Aquaman to help the people instead of chasing him. Aquaman saves the residents on the train and then pursues Black Manta. However, Aquaman loses consciousness when Black Manta attacks him with sound waves. Black Manta steals some equipment from Atlantis and escapes. The next day, the Atlantis Council gathers to discuss the events, blaming Aquaman for what happened. They claim he is unfit to be king, as he spends most of his time on land rather than in the kingdom, and failed to protect his wife and mother, questioning how he can protect them. Aquaman blames himself for his negligence and is distressed seeing Mera unconscious. Aquaman meets with Atlanna and King Nereus to discuss Black Manta's weapons and how to defeat him. Atlanna reveals that Black Manta has acquired a powerful weapon 5 months ago, whose energy and water has exacerbated global warming and is destroying the environment. If they don't act quickly, the device will further increase the temperature. Aquaman proposes seeking help from his imprisoned brother, Orm, to locate Black Manta. However, Orm is imprisoned in a kingdom not under Atlantis' rule. Aquaman suggests breaking him out to help them and returning him afterward. Atlanna and Nereus initially oppose the idea, but are forced to agree as they have no other option. Nereus gives Aquaman a suit that renders him invisible while wearing it. An octopus named Topo accompanies him to relay messages to Atlantis. Topo is also invisible. The scene shifts to Orm, who is in poor condition. The prison guards give him minimal food to keep him barely alive. Arthur attacks the prison guards with the help of his suit, overpowering them. Aquaman enters Orm's cell. Orm is surprised to see him and asks why he has come to rescue him after imprisoning him. Aquaman explains the problem and asks for his help. They escape together, defeating the guards they encounter. They reach the shore, but some guards pursue them. Orm, weakened and unable to fight, collapses near the sea. As soon as a wave washes over Orm, his strength returns, and he easily defeats the guards. The two escape into the ocean, discussing their plan to defeat Black Manta. Meanwhile, Steven discovers that the weapons they acquired are extremely dangerous and could be among the most destructive in Earth's history, capable of destroying the planet if used. However, Black Manta is blinded by revenge and determined to kill Aquaman. Aquaman and Orm reach another kingdom and meet someone named King Fish, asking him about Black Manta's location. They approach him because King Fish knows all the criminals and mercenaries in the ocean. King Fish refuses to help, stating he will only reveal Black Manta's location in exchange for a favor. But Aquaman doesn't like King Fish's style, so he refuses to help them and says, "I'll tell you his location, but I want Jamila in return." However, Aquaman still dislikes King Fish's way of speaking and tells him, "Tell me his location," to which King Fish mockingly replies, "The place is right above your head." King Fish continues to mock them, so Arthur and Orm are forced to attack him, initiating the fight. Arthur and Orm easily defeat them, and Arthur goes to interrogate King Fish. King Fish, scared, finally reveals Black Manta's location. After Arthur and Orm gather the information they need, they leave the area and travel together, heading into the ocean until they reach an island. The island turns out to be Black Manta's base, where all his research is conducted. The island is unusual because all the animals and insects there are abnormally large. Arthur and Orm encounter giant ants that chase them because they're strangers to the place. The two brothers reach a cliff and see a giant statue ahead. Arthur kicks the statue, causing it to fall to the other side, and they cross over it as if it were a bridge. Once they cross, they destroy the statue to prevent the ants from following them. Meanwhile, Steven goes to Black Manta's room to speak with him, but doesn't find him there. Instead, he sees the trident weapon. Curiosity gets the better of him, so he picks up the weapon and assembles it. He has a vision of the terrifying monster that Black Manta made a pact with, and sees the destruction and chaos that will occur on Earth if the monster is unleashed. He warns David, "Don't trust this monster." However, David is now consumed with anger and hatred, and is determined to kill Aquaman. He threatens Steven saying, "Don't interfere in matters that don't concern you." We then shift back to Orm and Aquaman, who arrive at Black Manta's base and fight the guards along the way. They reach the control room, where they find the stolen energy materials. Stephen enters and tells them he surrenders. He begins explaining why he initially collaborated with David, stating, "I just wanted to see Atlantis, but Black Manta is an evil and insane person who wants to destroy the world. He plans to use the stolen devices to destroy Atlantis." Stephen asks to join forces with them to stop David. Orm and Aquaman believe Stephen's words and ask him to reveal the secret of David's power. Just as Stephen is about to explain, an explosion occurs, and the brothers are thrown to the ground. They recover and face Black Manta's men, defeating them with ease. At this point, Sting arrives to assist David, piloting a large vehicle, and fights Orm and Arthur. However, the brothers fight back with all their might and manage to defeat her. Then Black Manta himself arrives. With a single strike, he sends Orm flying. Orm and Aquaman begin battling him, but Black Manta is now incredibly strong and dominates the fight. He tries to kill Orm with the trident, but Orm dodges the attack, grabs the trident, and has a vision of the same terrifying monster, foreseeing the destruction it will bring to the world if unleashed. Black Manta hits Orm with a laser, knocking him to the ground, unable to get up. Just as Black Manta is about to kill him, an earthquake shakes the area. This is because Nereus has arrived with his army after the octopus messenger informed him of Orm and Arthur's location. Nereus and his forces begin destroying the island entirely. Black Manta and his men decide to flee, while Nereus and his men rescue Orm and Arthur, bringing them to safety. Orm recounts the vision he saw when he held Black Manta's trident. He says, "I'm certain I saw a vision of the lost Seventh Kingdom, which was once part of Atlantis." Black Manta's trident originally belonged to someone named Kordax. Kordax was the half-brother of King Atlan. At one point, Kordax became consumed by delusions of grandeur and wanted to rule the Seventh Kingdom instead of Atlan. He turned to dark magic and created his trident weapon. Because of his use of dark magic, his kingdom was cursed, and all his people were transformed into monsters, including Kordax himself. Atlan pleaded with Kordax to stop the madness, but Kordax refused. This led to a war between the two. Atlan ultimately defeated him and cast a spell that imprisoned Kordax and his followers in the lake where David first descended. Later, Black Manta found Kordax's trident. Kordax and his followers can only be freed from the spell with Atlan's blood, or the blood of someone from the royal family. Atlana explains, "Since Atlan is already dead, Black Manta needs to kill one of us four to free Kordax: Arthur, Orm, Atlana, or Arthur's son, as he is also part of the royal family." Black Manta indeed goes to Tom, Arthur's father, stabs him in the stomach, but leaves him alive. Aquaman arrives shortly after but is too late. Black Manta has set the house on fire and kidnapped Arthur's son. Meanwhile, Black Manta has the child, and Stephen sees this. Aquaman becomes furious, determined to rescue his son at any cost. Stephen decides to help Aquaman, as he disagrees with Black Manta's actions. He sends signals to Atlantis about their destination, revealing they are heading to the South Pole. The brothers receive the signal and decide to move there. Atlana is happy to see her sons working together. Aquaman activates his trident to command all the whales and bring them to his side, using them to attack Black Manta's ship. The whales successfully destroy the ship and its crew. Black Manta, Stephen, and Arthur's son escape on a small boat and head to the lost Seventh Kingdom. Black Manta enters. Black Manta enters the kingdom, with Aquaman and his army following closely behind. Black Manta releases Kordax's monsters, who attack Atlantis's forces. However, Aquaman's army is strong and capable of handling them. Inside the kingdom, Black Manta orders Stephen to bring him the child so he can kill him. Stephen hands him a bag supposedly containing the child, but it turns out to be a bomb that explodes. Black Manta survives the explosion and still manages to grab the child. He pulls out a knife to kill the child, but the child cries out, and Aquaman hears him. Aquaman arrives just in time to save his son. A fierce battle ensues between Aquaman and Black Manta. Black Manta is willing to kill Aquaman, as his royal blood will also suffice for his plan. However, This time, Aquaman fights with all his strength to protect his son. Despite Aquaman's efforts, Black Manta remains stronger and overpowers him. Just as Black Manta is about to deliver the final blow, Mera intervenes, attacking Black Manta and destroying his suit. Black Manta sees her escaping with the child and throws the trident at her before she can flee. But Orm arrives at the last second, catching the trident. But the power of Kordax was transferred to Orm, and Black Manta became very weak now. Aquaman can easily defeat him, but Kordax controlled Orm and made him attack Aquaman and injure him. After Aquaman drew blood from him using the trident, Kordax was freed, and the ice was lifted off him. Aquaman took Orm's trident and threw it at Kordax, but Kordax caught his trident, so Aquaman threw his own trident at him, causing a big explosion that killed Kordax because Aquaman's trident was much stronger than Kordax's. After that, the kingdom began to collapse. Aquaman saw Black Manta about to fall and die, so he went to save him. But Black Manta refused any help and jumped, throwing himself into destruction and dying. All our heroes managed to escape alive. Aquaman shook hands with Orm, and they became friends. Orm told him, "You are the rightful king of Atlantis, and Atlantis is lucky to have you." He advised him, saying, "If you want to do anything, do it without consulting the council, because your opinion will surely be better than theirs." Indeed, the next day, we see the kingdom of Atlantis rise from the water and appear before the whole world. The news talked about the new civilization that everyone thought was a myth and not real. Aquaman introduced himself as the king of the kingdom of Atlantis and called for unity and cooperation between the kingdom of Atlantis and the people of Earth to face any danger together. And with that, we've reached the end of the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.